Hey guys, look, we know that this phone, we know that repeating the same thing over and over and over again is the definition of insanity, right? So are you looking at what you're doing daily? Are you doing anything that might be considered insanity? Like really, really look at it. Write it down if you need to. Just so that you can stand back and look at it, what you wrote down. Are you doing anything that is basically funding your own captivity without you really realizing you're doing it? Are you doing it because other people are directing you, well, you should go this way, you should go that way, and they're keeping you in systems, which is basically like smoke and mirror systems, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the matrix. I mean, they tell you where to go, what you should do, and everything is for you to not go on your own, or on your own with others that have gone on their own. You see what I'm saying? Like-minded individuals. So you don't want to be caught doing something over and over again that's the definition of insanity. But we have to look at like the things that have been going on in this world, right? We have CIA and MK Ultra, which is mind control. So you have to be aware of everything, right? What I mean by that is aware of dangers or something that could be in your proximity or around you, and you maybe haven't seen it before until you have finally seen it or something, right? But you've got to love yourself to take care of yourself and get yourself out of a situation while you can, right? If you're somewhere that like you're not progressing as you should, it's probably what's around you, it's or coming around you, or energy vampiring, something like that, or someone being like the overseer boss telling you what to do. It's time to put on the adult pants, so to speak, and take charge of your own life, because that's the CEO of your life is you. So you want to be making the smart decisions that help you, so that you can move on, so that you're not held back, held back or left behind, right? So, whatever it is, there's something that, you need to move on, or something that you need to do, or the collective, energy. Could be numerous people need to do, it's an exodus, but it could be, a spiritual exodus or a physical exodus, to literally start out new. A new beginning is somewhere. But, most people are looking for their soul tribe or partnerships that, they can collaborate and work together on gardening, whether it's gardening or something else. It's an example. So, look outside the box. Don't always think it has to be a job at a corporation or a this or that. You see what I'm saying? Get out of that mode and get into like the creative mode, content creation is an example. But there's, all kinds of ways of being creative. There's all kinds of ways of being an artist. You know what I'm saying? All kind of ways, But think outside the box, right? Instead of always within these frame limits that people are trying to tell you, oh, you need to do it this way, and you need to branch your horizon so that you have more possibilities, right? But yeah, let's not do things that are literally, funding our own captivity, right? So take a close look of what you're doing, the patterns that you're doing, because it may actually be someone else's patterns. You may be, around someone, and just because you're around them, you're like kind of absorbing their patterns because of the, the energies, it's who you're around. So something to keep mindful of, y'all, and hopefully help people to see their way out of, you know, a situation that perhaps they shouldn't be in, you know, or some, you know, where they need to move from an old way to a new way, right? But it's up to everyone's particular, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, particular thing that's going on in their life. Whether it's going to be spiritual move or physical move, you know, a physical journey or a spiritual journey, you know, it's depends on who it is, you know, that's the whole point of it, you know, you take these things and then you know, plug it into your life and see, you know, where does this possibly fit in, you know, but it takes reflection, you know, it takes reflection for you to be able to see, you know, what is going on and what you may be doing in your life that's just making everything just circle around again and being just a Groundhog Day, and it doesn't change and it doesn't get better. It just stays there, or it stays there and gets worse, right? But that's usually the universe way of showing you, it's time to go, you know? But, you know, pray and meditate, you know, and listen to music, the frequency and stuff like that, and sit there, you know, in the quiet and, or outside in nature, you know, if it's quiet, people aren't bothering you, you know, or their energies aren't around, where you have that space and, you know, somewhere where you can really think and feel without interference. And that's where you'll get your answers. If you don't already have your answers now, you know, you may have already, you know, gotten your answers and it changed everything. All right, y'all, take care. God bless.